Who are you?
A friend? Or lover? Or wife?
Kate.
Attaboy. Except I'm Faith now. Part of the makeover.
What are you doing here?
Remember our wedding day, Duncan?
I do. The way we danced. I felt like we were flying. Of course, we did come down, didn't we?
Somebody order a club sandwich? Welcome to the Highlander Rewatch Podcast, the podcast where each and every week we talk about another facet of the Highlander universe. I'm one of your rewatchers. I'm Keith.
This is Kyle.
This is Eamon.
Two things. One, I don't actually remember when that line happens, so someone's going to need to remind me.
Oh,
And
it's the
two,
part where Duncan's in a deli and
Eddie orders a club sandwich.
Mhm.
And also, like, the thing that makes a club sandwich is that it has a middle layer of bread, right?
yeah,
It has 3 layers of bread.
there's layers, right?
Why?
Layers.
Like, is that ever really necessary, or is it just like a thing?
Oh, I see. Like, there's no like if you took out the middle layer of a club sandwich, it would just be like a big sandwich, like a Dagwood. Like the difference between a Dagwood and a club sandwich is the middle piece of bread, maybe, right?
Maybe. I don't
Wow.
know.
Mm.
Also, oftentimes I feel like a lot of club sandwiches I see, like, they're not so big that like the third piece of bread seems to add anything to my experience.
That's more bread.
It adds more bread, I guess.
Love those
I
carbs,
love more
right?
bread.
That's right. Well, here we
Carbo
are
load.
talking about sandwiches.
Yeah.
Highlander and club sandwiches.
That's right.
That's our favorite character, Cracker Bob,
That's right.
uttering that line.
Do you guys have a favorite sandwich you like?
See,
to be
that
clubbed? Sorry,
Say
I was
again?
like, what?
Go ahead.
I was using club as like a verb. Like, do you like to which sandwich would you like to club? Like
Like to take
Oh.
out, just remove. With,
Yeah, to
like,
just
like
remove.
clubbing it like a seal.
no, like you're like, you know what? This ham and cheese sandwich would be great with an extra piece of bread. Like I've clubbed it.
Ooh.
Or peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's like a turkey. It's a turkey-based deployment.
Turkey
It needs to
based.
be like the meat itself needs to be neutral enough that like I want a lot of it, and like it'll be tall. You know what I
It'll
mean?
be tall. Okay.
It'll be
Interesting.
tall.
It'll be tall. Very
Grudge Hill
good.
tall.
Well, I'm glad we learned all about.
So that explains why I didn't remember, because most of my reviews of this have been of the theatrical cut, in which Cracker Bob says 0 lines. So
Right.
that would explain why I did not remember that line.
A club sandwich.
Mhm.
It's because he has a baseball bat.
Yeah, this character
Which
fights with a
is-
spiked bat, which notably is a weapon that's incapable of decapitating somebody.
Yep.
But I digress.
Yep, we'll talk about it. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so before we get into a recap of our previous 4 episodes, let's play the old catalog game.
Let's
All
do
right.
it, baby.
So the way this works. Oh, I didn't actually bring it up on my thing. I can't believe it. I blew it, guys.
Oh my goodness.
My first question is, how dare you?
I'm upset about it too, because but why don't you tell our listeners about how they can view the Highlander Rewatch podcast,
Oh.
YouTube, etc.
Oh, you can find it, if you want to listen to us, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. But recently, since the onset of this pandemic, we've been recording them. So you can either go on Facebook or on YouTube and find us. You can watch our smiling faces. That is probably the optimum way to view these episodes, because especially as part of our Endgame coverage, we've been showing a lot of clips from the movie. They are all baffling. They are all nuts. Buckle up. We'll do our best to describe them for the people who are just listening, but seeing is believing when it comes to this monstrosity.
Very
That's
good.
right.
Which,
All right.
not unlike whatever monstrous image we're about to see in this catalog.
Oh, I cannot wait. The reveal of this is going to be so good. There are 2 pictures I'm going to show you. So the way the catalog game works, if this is your first episode, is I'm going to read an item description out of the Highlander catalog. Kyle and Eamon are going to do their best to try to guess what the price of that item is. If they guess within 20% higher or lower, they get my respect for the rest of the episode, and they get to give their opinion first, which is what a treat. What a treat, right?
What a
Everyone
treat
cannot
indeed.
wait. So today I'm going to be reading out of the 1996 catalog again. And we may have covered this item before. This might be a different description, and certainly there's going to be a different picture that accompanies it. So this is only
Ooh,
part of
baby.
the picture.
Some floppers.
Yeah, so you got some floppers there, right? What do you think of look at all the rocks and stuff? We talked about that last time, that the aesthetic of this catalog is so different than the others, that like everything is staged like it's jewelry or something. Like I don't know. I don't know what you would call this, like desert aesthetic or whatever, but it's something. It's a choice.
Oh boy. This
all
is
right,
It looks like
What-
fruity pebbles.
it looks like the bottom of a lizard cage.
Yeah.
All right.
Putting a
Especially with
seed-
the floppy disks
yeah.
involved in this beautiful image. Good God.
I
All
like
right.
that the floppy disks are spread out like a hand of playing cards.
That's right.
We got to be able to see
Dealer.
them all.
Yeah.
You
Also,
guys
I
remember
don't.
how big a floppy disk was?
Yeah.
Is it like how much? Do you remember? I'm trying to remember.
Oh. Well, I guess there are different kinds. There were like bigger kinds, but then these kinds, I think they just fit into like the palm of your hand, right?
I didn't mean like how like large they were.
Oh,
I meant
like
like how
the-
much
the-
data.
the-
Like yeah,
the
these are
data?
what, like
Oh, I
3.5
don't remember. Yeah.
floppies or whatever they were called. Is it like 3 megabytes? Is it even less than a megabyte? I don't remember.
Ooh.
3.5 sounds right to me, but I also could be getting that confused with inches.
All right. Who wants to? Will prices right this? Keith and Eamon. How much data was stored on the average? Could be stored on the average floppy disk.
I'll say 5 megabytes.
I'll
Amen.
say 3.
The answer: 1.44 megabytes
Holy crap!
on the
Wow.
average 3.5-inch floppy disk.
So every photo my phone takes is bigger than an entire disk.
Yes.
Sweet.
That's amazing.
It's a
Wonderful.
beautiful thing.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to read the description for the Highlander screensaver, item number 153 out of the Highlander 1996 catalog. Your computer patiently awaits your commands day after day, week after week, an eternity of patience. It deserves some excitement. Wow, this is what? Now, with your command, it becomes a warrior at the ready. Give it some muscle, give it the fury of the quickening, and the
What?
action of battle with the
What?
blockbuster Highlander screensaver.
Blockbuster Highlander
right.
screensaver.
Morph through hundreds of production stills from Highlander movies and television series. Select from 3 movies, the television series, or computerized action scenes. Witness the quickening.
Wow.
Good
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
Computerized action scenes? What does that mean?
Would you like to know? Would you like to
Yes.
know the accompanying image? I have not seen this in forever. This is like my favorite Highlander image ever. Everybody, buckle up.
Let's see it.
It's not changing. Why isn't it changing? There we
What? There we go.
Oh my god.
What?
go.
What?
What? Let's
What?
talk about this.
Is this?
Like Highlander Tron or whatever this is? Reboot.
This
This
is amazing.
crazy. This is an actual. This is production art for the Highlander reboot guys.
Yeah. So for our listeners,
Wow.
Duncan MacLeod is in his famous sword holding stance, and part of his body is like a computer like wireframe.
Uh huh.
Yeah, as it's all being struck by lightning.
Uh huh.
In particular, his left foot is really getting it.
Yeah.
Oh
But
boy.
like it looks like it's burning through his clothes.
This is nuts.
This is ghastly.
And if Keith zoom in on his hands again.
Yeah, the cutouts.
Yep.
Yep.
So like this is really bad like Photoshop lasso tool like
Yeah.
the Endgame poster is better than this, shockingly.
This is something, right?
Oh my god.
considerably. At least the Endgame poster looks like a thing.
Look
Yeah.
at Duncan's like computer abs and stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
he's got computerized abs added in.
This is crazy.
They're very erotic.
It is very erotic. Wow, I love
And
it.
it's like, yeah, this is great. I want this on a t-shirt.
This would be good on a t-shirt, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be good.
I want this tattooed on my body.
That can be arranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want this tattooed on your entire body? Like
Yes.
you need to have a wireframe
Mm-hmm.
all over. I would love
Yeah.
it.
This is amazing. So
Alright,
is
man.
this on the screensaver? Like
I
you
think
get
so.
this Duncan computerized Duncan?
Why would you
Yeah, I
why
guess-
would you pick this image over other images? I don't know.
I
Or
don't
just
either.
a blank screen. I don't know.
I don't understand.
So what did they refer to it as?
They called it a computerized action scene.
Ooh, I love it.
Good. Well, Eamon, you get to guess first. How much would you pay in 1996 for the Highlander screensaver?
Oh my god. I have to imagine this was expensive. But I've been overshooting it.
Yeah, you guessed like $60 for that watch.
Yeah. Well, that was high quality watch.
Mhm.
I'm going to say $40.
All right, $40 for a screensaver. Kyle.
I'm gonna guess $24.99.
All right, $24.99. Eamon, you are the winner with $40.
Oh.
This actual retail price was $35.
Wow.
No way.
Nice
This is
item.
more expensive than the watch.
More expensive than the watch. Today, you would pay the price of $58 for this screensaver. Very good.
Computerized action scenes, man.
Look at that.
I wonder what else. Does it like I want to see the rest of these.
Right? Yeah. So if
Good
anyone out
dog.
there has access, like I think I have the screensaver, but I haven't been able to get it to work. So if anyone has any of the images from it, especially the computerized action scenes ones, like get
Yes.
them over to us because these are incredible. And
It
yeah, they
is-
should definitely go on a t-shirt.
It is very reboot, but it don't like the proportions are wrong. Like it doesn't look like his legs are like matching up with the rest of his body.
No, and like it looks like he's got like the Batman the Animated Series shoulders that are way
Yeah.
too
way too
broad.
wide, right?
Yeah.
Ugh, that's
Wow.
amazing. Good find.
Amazing. So congratulations, Eamon, on guessing it right. You have gained my
Thank
respect,
you.
and you get to give your opinion at the end of
No.
the episode. So I can't wait to hear what that glowing opinion is.
Who? Yeah.
All right,
Who
so now
can't
we're
wait?
in episode 5 now of our coverage. We've gone through our trailer reaction, plus I don't know, about like 15 minutes of the movie so far. It's been longer than that. So why don't we recap what has happened so far? We get an exciting, boring, I just said. We get a very boring opening credit sequence where it's
Mhm.
just clouds. Duncan buys a hot dog.
Mhm.
Rachel
Blows up.
blows to hell, right? She's
Yep.
done. So what else happens?
Connor's
and-
mom also blows up.
That's
Yeah.
right.
In a flashback, we meet Jacob Kell, who apparently doesn't care about the rules of the game, and he and his group of like his world's lamest motorcycle gang destroys what may be a monastery, probably not,
Right?
The sanctuary.
if you will. Duncan has bad dreams about this event. Connor has apparently placed himself in the protective custody of this sanctuary, and we are led to believe that Kell has killed everyone.
Mm-hmm. And
And the
Mythos knew about
Watchers.
it, and there's
Yeah.
a mysterious woman who calls Duncan on the phone. We don't know who that is, and some Watcher is following Mac around. We don't know what that's
Hmm.
about.
Nope.
So that's where we are. Great.
Great.
All right, so let's continue with the movie. So our next cut after, I guess, what happened in the previous scene? This was Duncan met with Mythos, and
Yes.
Mythos like told him finally like what is the sanctuary. So the final scene we got was like explaining that people take themselves like out of the game, right?
And that the sanctuary has been annihilated.
Annihilated, like Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That's right. So now we get a smash cut to Mac is like flying to New York City, and so we get some like Mac's in a cab. There's some like some stock footage, I guess, is
So-
used. Although I think from the commentary, they did film in New York, which is
Yeah.
shocking to me that like more is not filmed there, and it's just like driving around in a cab. Although I guess
Yep.
I can kind of see why that's the only footage you can get. Like,
Yeah.
hey, do we need a shooting permit? Maybe not. I don't know.
We can probably get away with it. One thing I actually forgot to mention during the last scene, during the Mythos exposition,
Mm-hmm.
is a difference between the theatrical cut and the producer's cut. The
Sure.
producer cut being the DVD version, the theatrical cut being what's on HBO right now. So, as you may recall, in the theatrical cut, the opening scene where Duncan MacLeod orders a hot dog and he has like this awkward interaction with Connor does not start the movie. Some of that footage is punched in to the description that Mythos gives of the sanctuary. Where all of a sudden Mac has this interaction with Connor where he goes like, I've never seen you like this. But we don't actually, in the context of this cut, we don't actually see what Connor is doing.
Right.
It's like, I've never seen you like this, Connor. And Connor goes like, people change, Duncan. And that's the end of the flashback. And that is punched into that. It is insane.
Watch your back.
I thought that happened after the conversation with Mythos. It actually happens in the middle of it. So that was technically also New York footage, which is what reminded me to mention it.
Good. All right. So Mac is like looking out the window. I mean, part of me likes the use of voiceover here. Weirdly, like Mac's driving around while he's being driven around, and we hear some dialogue with him and Connor talking about like Scotland and how the English have destroyed all the clans, and then like I guess Connor's saying like it'll always be Scotland and Mac will get to go back one day. And like as soon as he said that line, I was like, oh, is that going to be important to the movie? Like going back to Scotland, like it seems important enough, at least the way it's presented here. Like that might be thematic. No,
nope.
His head. No, it is
not.
So this triggers a flashback. So we go
Watch your
to
back.
Kildare, Ireland in 1712. What happened?
Oh, boy. So Duncan and Connor come across some damsels in distress.
Right.
Yes. And all right.
Go on.
Oh no, we are about to meet a very special guest star.
We are
WWE superstar, The Edge.
Oh,
right.
baby.
Now, we did not talk about his IMDb credits earlier. I don't know if we want to take this opportunity now.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about The Edge? I have some stuff I'd like to share as well, because he is, what a guest star, a special guest star.
Yeah, The Edge
a special guest.
Is a former WWE champion who, like so many wrestlers, attempts to make the transition into film. And oh boy, has he been in some absurd films.
Wow, I don't know about this. I didn't look at his credits. This is exciting.
Well, the most notable one that everyone should just go see, it's available for free on YouTube. It won't be a waste of 90 minutes, is the movie Money Plane, starring
Oh, that's right. He's in that.
Huh?
I forgot he's in that.
Yes, he's in fact the main character of the film Money Plane, which also boosts, I'm sure they only got him for one day each, but Kelsey Grammer and Thomas Jane are both in that film somehow. Wow. The Edge's real name is Adam Copeland, by the way. You could also see him in a WWE made some of its own movies back in the day. As a way of like helping promote these crossovers. So he's also in a film called Bending the Rules with Jamie Kennedy, in which the Edge plays corrupt cop Nick Blades.
Wow.
God damn it.
He has to team up with Jamie Kennedy, who is a district attorney. Catch some bad guys.
Wow. I have some just like info on The Edge I'd like to read.
By all means.
So this is from
The Edge or just Edge? I think it's just Edge.
Oh, it's just Edge.
I suppose it is just Edge.
All right.
Edge. The Edge is in U2.
Oh, you're right. That Infinity guitar, man. That's right.
Bono and The Edge. Watch that video of him falling off the stage.
Very good.
Then watch the video of Kelsey Grammer falling off the stage.
All good. They are all great. So this is from Wikipedia,
together.
and it says Edge utilizes the spear as his finisher. WWE announcer Michael Cole praised the psychology Edge included in the move, since he knew that the longer he made the audience wait, the better it was going to be. He also performed other finishers, including a lifting DDT called the Edgecution. I can't even say it. Edgecution. It's
Execution.
Execution,
right? and an inverted sharpshooter submission hold called the Educator. I love
Ooh,
that.
I like that. The
That is a
Educator's
much
very
better bit of wordplay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, the
but this
Educator.
is the real meat of it. No pun intended. In 2006, after performing a segment with Lita where they had sex in the ring,
Nice.
Edge began to use the nickname of the Rated R Superstar. Also, he is nicknamed the Ultimate Opportunist due to how he used the Money in the Bank briefcase to win the world title. I have no idea what this is even talking about, but like, I'm like, what? But the sex in the ring, guys, I got a clip. I couldn't help myself. This
Oh
is
boy.
like,
Of course not. Let's see it.
so this was like,
Is this rated R for our people at home?
no, it is not. Although it's like,
Oh.
it's still not that suitable. I mean, nothing we're doing is very suitable anyway for work. Here's the bed,
R for
and
anything.
I love all
There's
the
Wow.
there's a bed involved.
Well, it's got to be comfortable.
I like all these matrix numbers.
Right? Isn't that crazy? So somebody edited this for YouTube, so it like cuts around a bunch. We also don't have to watch it all, but I definitely think it's worth a glimpse, right?
A glimpse.
this is-
sure.
Gentlemen, please
Ooh.
welcome Edge.
You think you know me?
There he is.
Uh-oh.
In the bank matchup after the elimination chamber.
So Edge is
Well, you don't leave it right. This has got to be great. Champ is here.
Can they just sing this man and thinking, put him in a movie?
Right?
yeah.
Happened inside this ring. I outsmarted all of you. Contract after
Edge.
the elimination chamber.
Let's skip ahead
match.
to the juicy bits here.
Yeah.
Look
Oh.
at
He's got a
I wonder
foot.
if, I guarantee you, this you watch him now.
Oh. So
What on
Edge
earth
is
is
taking
happening?
this woman's clothes off.
I got a
Isn't
feeling.
this supposed to be like family entertainment?
yes.
I don't think
yeah,
wrestling is supposed to be
That
family
used to be-
entertainment.
Ra's gone.
He's going
What?
down south. Hold on a minute.
He's going down
Sit
south.
down. Oh. You know what those are, don't you? Those.
No. Oh no.
Here comes. This show
Wait,
may just get
Ric
better.
Flair.
This is
Ric
so
Flair is joining.
crazy.
Last night at New Year's Revolution, that Edge metal briefcase and got himself.
Oh.
Let's have a. Come on, what are you doing? Hey, King,
So Edge
Come
hits
on.
Ric Flair in the head with a folding chair.
Yes.
So,
This-
Wow.
John Cena shows up a little later as well. How about
oh,
that?
good.
Of course.
I
Like all these people, John Cena, Edge, are all like they saw what The Rock did, like how he actually did transition into being like a very legit actor, and they're like they're all trying to like recreate that, and just no one pulls it off. John
Cena's
Cena
on his
comes
way,
much
baby.
closer than the
Yeah.
Edge, though.
He's going to be in Suicide Squad.
Edge
Yeah.
or John Cena.
John Cena
All right. Who's Kelsey Grammer play?
and Edge.
Who
Yeah.
would Kelsey Grammer play in Suicide Squad?
Joker?
I would watch him as
Joker, really?
Joker.
Would he have all the tattoos? The Jared Leto tattoos?
I would go on
Scrambled.
record-
It would say scrambled.
That's very good.
I would go on record saying I'm just in general like a Joker skeptic. Like it is not a character I find particularly interesting, just as a rule. Like I don't think that anything about the bones of that character is very worthwhile.
He's a crime clown.
He's so
Yeah, it's just
deranged,
like-
man.
Shrug and like anytime a human in nature indicates they're very interested in the Joker, I'm like, you are probably a dangerous man.
I agree. Yeah.
But there are few things I find more distasteful than Jared Leto's Joker.
Oh, wow.
I fucking hate it.
Well,
It
he's
is
back. He's back, baby. Snyder cut.
Yeah, I find it so uninteresting. Like it is just grown. Like it has none of the charisma of like a Jack Nicholson or like the moodiness of a Heath Ledger. It's just pointless.
Yep. But I'm really looking forward to the Snyder cut. Nobody send us any messages. We love the Snyder cut. Snyder cut all the way.
Yep, there we go.
We're
That's
all
like
big
one of the most
Snyder Cut
divisive
guys.
topics on the internet, isn't it? Snyder
Yep.
Cut stuff, right?
Mhm.
Well, especially now that now Joss Whedon's in trouble too. So
Oh yeah.
maybe
Very
we
good.
do need a Snyder cut.
We do.
Back to Highlander, flashback 1712. I keep saying Mac. Duncan and Connor are riding on their horses and come across a stop carriage that has Kate in it and some other woman.
A character. Who's Kate, Keith?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's this person.
Some woman. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a woman who kind of looks like a hot mouse. I don't know. She's like, I don't know. She's got a very mouse-like face.
Oh boy.
But this is the pop star that we've been discussing.
Lisa B.
Lisa B, whose
Right.
music we heard last time. We come to learn her name is Kate at some point.
At some point, not at this point, I don't think.
Not
right?
at this point,
Nope.
though.
Yeah, like,
And
we don't know who
Ed-
characters are. It's so hard to like figure
Yeah.
this out. So they are, their carriage has been stopped by these like highwaymen or whatever, and they
Mhm.
are pretending to be, I guess,
Representatives of the king.
right.
They're
They've
going
got
to
to
be
collect a
toll collectors.
right.
Yeah.
And of course, this is all made up bullshit. They've got
Yep.
like some like forged document from the king that's just signed with an X, and I guess Connor makes fun of them for that. Anyway,
It's like,
so
oh, does the king in the habit of signing things with an X?
right. So Mac at this point pays the toll. But what we don't know is he's stolen, I guess, his like purse or whatever. So like he gave him a, 1 penny
All
and
toll.
took all the money. So
Yeah.
then we get this like swashbuckling scene. What do you guys think about this?
This is among the more fun scenes of the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My note at this scene is, can Christopher Lambert actually do any of this stuff?
Yeah.
You mean like roll around and
Well, if you look at, especially in the theatrical cut, what they have him doing, Connor is like doing all this really dexterous stuff. Lambert does like nothing. He'll just like flick his wrist and like a sword will go flying. Like they don't actually
okay.
show him really doing any sword fighting at
Interesting.
all in this sequence. Like
I
Duncan is like, they beat like a number of people, but Duncan is
Yeah.
actually working and Lambert is just like punches someone in the face and then it's
Right. That could be like time restrictions or something. Like, did he not have enough time to like learn all the? I mean, there are like, I guess, a lot of sword fights in this movie? Question mark.
yeah, but it's like
Yep.
it's a little stunning, honestly. Like when you if you look at it again through that lens, it's like, what is he like? It makes it look like he's not up to it,
Yeah.
especially because this is the first Connor sword fight of the film.
You're right. Yes, it is.
So I was pleased to say that the future times Connor fights in this movie, it looks better than this.
Mhm.
But Connor's piece of this does not look great. But they're like having fun. They're like, let's just take out these goons.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of like this too. Like, at least the music's like a little fun. It's lit. Like there's some more ambience to like the lighting, I guess. Like it's like at dusk and there's like some fog and stuff. Like this is better.
I
think this-
like everything
It's fun.
except for when they punch the guy in the face and he makes like a goofy
He's like,
ooh, like
Yeah,
I
but
don't
there's,
like
like,
that.
Weird slapstick components in this movie. Like we
It's
saw
like
it.
yeah.
We see it when I guess Connor has sort of sword fought before in that flashback. It's not really a sword fight, but he's at least like fought with people. And like when the guy hits his axe into the ceiling, and then there's
Oh,
like
right.
another
Right.
slapsticky beat in connection.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which had immediately followed him cutting someone's hand off. For the
Right.
record, but and I will say this again. I actually do think this is one of the more fun scenes in the movie, and I think it shows like our relationship with Connor and Mac, which is fun.
Yes.
This
that's
fight,
important.
this fight does not, even though they're killing a bunch of people, this fight does not exist in the same movie as the clips we just watched in our last episode of Kell's goons clearing out the sanctuary.
No.
It like exists in a different movie or
Yeah.
like a different
Yeah.
thing. Like this feels like a fight that exists in the Highlander TV show.
Right.
Like it doesn't have like people's body parts being dismembered or
Right,
like
there's
weird
blood just
bloody.
splattering.
Yeah, like none of that is here. Like this does not exist in a movie where you see someone's severed foot.
This is like a scene out of like Hook got stuck into this movie or something.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? Hook is a way more fun movie than this, so fine.
Yeah.
Like, fine. It's okay for this to be like have a little lightness to it.
Yeah. I'm glad this
Which
scene
this-
exists. Like, at least we get camaraderie between them. Like, that is so important to show us. Like, don't just tell us they're friends or kinsmen. Like, we need to see it. Like,
Yep.
And this is one of the only scenes that actually does that.
Yeah.
I think so. It's like very important for that reason.
Yep.
The way it ends is a little fourth wall-y.
All right, tell us about that. So who's the last person they take out in this fight?
Well, so Edge doesn't actually do much in this at all, frankly.
Especially to be called out as a special guest star. Or
Right.
like, well, if you call somebody out, yeah, like you think, oh, he's someone to look out for. He's going to be special.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas this seems like it's really just more for cross promotion purposes.
Exactly.
But he just like trundles over to them holding a rock over his head. And Mac is for some reason on the ground, and he like rolls over and like puts his sword to his dick.
Yep.
Yeah.
As Edge is just standing there like frozen with the rock over his head.
Yep.
Which I don't know enough about wrestling to know if the rock is supposed to be a joke. Like he's holding the rock.
Oh,
if that was supposed to be a Dwayne the Rock Johnson gag of some capacity.
Interesting.
That seems too subtle. But in any case,
You know, it's not too subtle. The line's dated here. Go on.
go ahead, Keith. What is that line?
Oh, well, they put their dicks to his. Yeah, everyone just puts their dicks on the edge. No, they put their swords to his dick, taking sword to dick, and they proclaim the line, "Losing your edge," or whatever.
And I was just like, no, why?
No.
Not good.
Yes, it is very bad.
I guess
and then there's
Highlander has a loose connection to wrestling. In the first one, they're at a wrestling match.
Well, I was curious, like, how do you think this came about? Do you think this was WWE wanted a wrestler in it and they saw like an opportunity for cross promotion, or do you think this is supposed to be kind of a reference to the vibe of the first movie? Like the first movie had wrestling, our movie's going to have wrestling or a wrestler. The first movie had like an opening text scene. We're going to do that too. We had Queen. This is going to have like a pop star in it, like kind of like the show did. Like, I don't know how much of this stuff is supposed to be self-referential, like within like the context of like, this is what Highlander does. Or is it just, a random thing and we shouldn't pay it any mind?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good question.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm asking all
It's
these
just
questions.
baffling.
This
is just baffling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, we do not know who this young woman is in the carriage at all. Like her
during the fight, she and her like school marm or whoever it is, they ride off, and she like drops behind like a favor or like a hanky or something.
Right. Also, I believe in the rough cut of this scene is extended a bit, and we find out a small detail that Kate in this carriage is that woman's seamstress. Which I guess is supposed to be a hint that,
Because she's a fashion designer in the
fashion designer in the future, right? So that's something.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. I forgot that detail. And I guess like Mac and her have before the fight starts, they do have some banter. Like Kate is initially upset, like that Duncan is going to pay off the guards.
Right. Like, shouldn't you stand up for our honor? Like, this is absurd. Like, this injustice will not stand.
This is absurd.
But yeah, that's the scene. I mean, like, so this scene doesn't really accomplish much. Like, what does the scene do? We get to
it shows us that Connor and Duncan are buddies.
Right, that's a good thing. I'm on board that, right? A scene that shows them being buddies.
It shows the first meeting between Duncan and this woman, which will become important. I think this scene so I think this it does some work.
It does a little bit of work. I think there could be more here because I don't think we learn too much really. But it's okay. It's at least fun. At least it's fun.
It's
That's
better
so
than
good.
It's better than almost every other scene in the movie. So it does work in that sense.
And it's not like people getting horribly chopped up or burned alive.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of that scene. So next we cut, we're back to New York City. We're taking that cab ride, and Mac arrives at Connor's antique shop. And I get this, like, he feels like he should start the search for Connor, like, at home, right? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
So how's this all go? Like, what do we think of all this?
It's a busted out, like, it's been 10 years, and they still haven't, like, repaired the building or done anything, like...
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised like the city of New York didn't like condemn this building. A bomb went off. and
Yeah.
like it's still
It's just
Don't
there.
destroyed.
stand
At some
in.
point, it looks
No.
like Max sneaks in by climbing through a hole in the wall.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I'm shocked in my notes because this is like rewatcher style. I'm like, who's paying the taxes? Like, did Mac take over the property? These are the things I want to know.
Yeah.
No one
It's-
else does, I guess.
Very weird. And like, but there's still Connor's secret room from the original movies
Mhm.
that nobody has found.
Yeah,
Right.
the silver room is undisturbed.
I'd also like to mention
Though
some other
it's-
stuff.
I
Oh, go
confess, I liked it when Duncan busts into the silver room.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's cool.
that's like a great scene, and like seeing this character and like step into an iconic locale from the first movie is great.
It is.
Yeah. No, I think they do a really great job of recreating, like they recreated the loft in the early scene of the movie, and now it's like
Mhm.
all destroyed, which is cool. Yeah, and then the silver room, it's a cool reproduction. It's like fun to visit that place. I do have some other questions though before we get too far into the scene. I do also wonder, like, here's Mac returning to Connor's loft.
Mhm.
Like, what do you think he's looking for? Like, I guess I'm wondering, what is he looking for that he didn't look for 10 years ago? Like,
Yeah.
Connor was supposed to show up at the bar at 8 o'clock. What happened? Like, what did Mac fucking do? Like, I just don't understand. Like, he suddenly just is back here and he's like, well, I guess there must be some evidence.
And he didn't like look for Connor when he missed their meeting and like go
Yeah.
to the same place or
Right.
like see that it was blown up, or he didn't go to the silver room and look for clues before now. Like
Yeah,
he
it's just
left
really
it alone.
strange.
for
But I mean,
10
I guess
years.
I get it. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
um,
That's a little weird.
Oh,
If
also
you think
there's-
about it for longer than 3 seconds, it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Sure. Yeah, like, and also, like, is it almost like Mac must have known it happened, right? Like, this would
Oh,
have
he
been on
knows
the
it happened
news,
because he
right?
knows about Rachel's death and all that.
Oh, I guess so, right? I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's weird.
Oh, they also show a flashback of the antique store exploding, by the way, in
Mhm.
this like you
Yeah,
forgot.
which we just saw. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And once again, this calls into question like the narrative structure of the whole movie is, what is that flashback? That's the movie telling us this happened, not like Duncan wasn't there. Duncan doesn't remember that.
Right.
So it's not his flashback. Like the movie
Yeah.
switches between these two like devices too much. It's very strange. So anyway, I also like when Mac enters the silver room, like one, it's got like a secret entrance, which I kind of thought was cool, right? That's like probably not in the first movie, but I enjoyed that. But this the movie continues Duncan's long tradition of like not respecting books. Like the very first thing Mac does is he picks a book up off the shelf, and it's probably some beautiful antique book.
Yeah.
He just holds it and he just throws it on the ground. It's like, what?
And before he used an ancient chronicle to block a dart.
Like a
Yeah.
dart or whatever, right?
He hates
Yikes.
reading. Reading sucks.
Yeah.
So anyway, he goes around. I like that, like, there's like their use of like audio cues in this movie, I think, are good. Like that's maybe one of the best devices this movie uses. Is like it just like replays audio. So Max sees like a busted picture of him on the floor, and it has like a flashback to World War I, but it's just like audio stuff. Although I have a question. Why is the picture shattered on the floor?
Good
It's
question.
in like some fire room. Nothing is touched except randomly there's just like shit that was on the ground.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Don't know.
Fuck.
Maybe. Oh, are we supposed to? We're about to see the entrance of Kate. Did Kate do it? Because she hates
Oh.
Duncan.
Oh, interesting. Like she was in there first and was like, "Fuck your picture, you piece of shit."
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I can dig that. Also, did anyone catch this little gem in the background? Here's a little picture here. So
Wait,
Max
can I
is-
try to
Yeah.
guess? Is it or is it in the picture now?
It's in the picture now.
Oh, so the painting of Heather.
The painting, the photograph still from Highlander
Yeah.
1 that Connor has framed on his wall. Like, yikes. Also, am I misremembering? Did they use that picture in Highlander 2 as well?
I think.
I feel like we
so.
maybe noticed that in the background of
Yeah.
Mac's apartment or whatever. But
Maybe.
it's just like, what the fuck, guys? Anyway.
Spoiler, or not a spoiler, but I watched the first 3 Highlander movies this week. In one of them, the Confederate flag is like in his silver room.
Huh.
That just popped out at me.
Whoa,
It's
how
like,
about that?
something weird. I don't remember which
Interesting.
movie it is though, where that appears.
That,
Yeah,
that
so-
explains Connor's famous catchphase, "The South will rise again."
Yeah. Whatever you say, the South will rise again, buddy.
I have a weird thing here. I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not.
Ooh,
Besides everything you
let's
just
hear
said.
it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but before we get into like the meat of the plot of what happens,
Ooh, the meat.
getting to that meat. Like, it is cool that they recreated the silver room, right? Like, that's fine. But like, does any? Again, I might be a weird outlier among the fan community here. Does anyone ever just kind of like, I'm gonna say get bothered or just bummed out? Like, aren't we always going back to the same well? Like things that become weirdly iconic in the first Highlander movie. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, that's the iconic thing. Like, and I think the silver room is really cool. I think that's pretty neat. But like, I also think like people will often be like, oh, Connor doesn't have his white sneakers on. I mean, actually, I think Eamon, you made a joke about that when we were watching. It's like, is this like, are we grasping at straws here? Like, what are the iconic things about this character? His white shoes, like, or the silver room? Like, I feel like we don't think of other characters in pop culture quite the same way. And perhaps that's because there's been kind of more of a mythology around them. And there's maybe not too much Highlander, like in the scheme of things. But it does seem like, I'm like, not to quote South Park, but like, is this like member berries for the Highlander fans? Like, remember the silver room? Remember the sneakers? Like, they're all here. And it's like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, how about a plot? That was something the first movie had. This one doesn't seem to have a good one. Like, maybe put that in the movie instead of a silver room.
I mean, it's not either or.
No, I know I'm being a little harsh on it. Like, but I sometimes feel like these things take perhaps too much importance in some of this stuff. I don't know. Or it's like things that fans seem to be like clamoring for. Like, I want that in the movie. And it's like, whatever. Like, I don't know.
I feel like everybody would like it if this movie's plot were better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be cool if this movie had new iconic things that I could reference, not just the old things? Like, I don't know.
Well, I will say, Keith, you often call out that like, oh, it's cool to have like a cool shot just because it's a cool shot.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool to have a cool set piece just because it's a cool set piece.
I mean, that's why the Silver Room becomes iconic in the first movie, is because it's shown to us in such a interesting way. It's like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen something like that. And it also tells us about like the plot. Like, the Silver Room shows us Connor's history. That's not the device. That's not what this is doing here. This is just showing us that he's got all this stuff.
Isn't it? Because we're about to get a flashback inspired by an item Duncan finds there.
That is true. That is true.
So I don't know. I disagree. I think it's doing work, and if nothing else, it's a cool visual in a movie that doesn't have enough.
Okay.
Cool
No,
visuals.
I shouldn't be coming down too hard on the Silver Room. You're right. It does do more work here, and it does trigger this flashback. But I don't know. Part of me, just with the whole like going back to Highlander 1, like I'm just, do we need to be going back to Highlander 1? I don't know. All the time.
I mean, I know you'd prefer more visual references to Highlander 2, but
this movie's got those too, weirdly. So anyway. Okay.
So this flashback. So Duncan sees a sword.
Right.
And we are all of a sudden transported back to 1631 in what appears to be Italy.
Yes.
And what happens here?
So
we get. Oh, go on, Eamon. Take it away.
Duncan and Connor are sparring in some grand hall where other couples are also sparring.
Mm-hmm.
Other couples, yeah.
Yeah.
Other couples, right?
And there's this.
They all got a Groupon. They're doing this
Yeah.
as like a good third date.
It's the sword experience.
Anyway,
and there's some different cuts here. So in one version, there's this weird little like henchman who's like tickling them,
clapping in the back like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
For some reason,
Connor and Duncan, like, this is a very like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Luke Skywalker type thing.
Totally.
Or like Ramirez and Connor, to be more Highlander-y. But it's like Duncan isn't like an expert swordsman now, and at this point Connor's better.
Right. Yeah, if we want to get deep into the like ages and timeline, Duncan would be, I believe, what is it here? 39 years old here.
Oh.
He's still a youngster.
Right. And also to put this like in contrast with like how we view the character, if we thought like the samurai in the TV show was like a turning point for the character, I believe that flashback takes place in 1778.
Oh,
Okay, so well in the future of what we're looking at here.
Right. Before he starts to kind of get a code and become maybe more sophisticated and this and that. Like he's still very, very young, right?
Yeah, and we proceed to deliver some of the clunkiest exposition on film.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, just I could tease it, but we might as well show it.
We'll show it and then we can tease it. How's that sound, everybody?
there
All
we
right.
go.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. And flip. Here we go. Duncan sparring. So we'll get a little bit of their training and the music too. Yikes. Here we
Ooh.
go.
Also, the little guy in the back is holding a giant quill for some reason.
Yeah.
I believe this guy was he his Adrian's makeup dude or something like that?
You've improved.
Like he was asked to, he was like, I want to be in this scene or something.
Wow.
We love it. This is great, right?
I'm just being gracious.
I like it.
Yeah.
They got cool
Now
costumes.
You're only immortal as long as you can keep your head on your shoulders.
Ooh.
All right.
Duncan,
Oh boy.
what you give up to your adversary in defeat is everything.
I know. And at that point, I'm very, very dead. Come on.
Not just dead, Duncan. Empty.
What?
Aye, Connor, I know. It's called the quickening. As strength and knowledge and life essence flows into the victor, feeds him and makes him stronger.
Okay.
Yes?
It's what drives the other immortals to kill us. And what
Like the
forces
little
us to be smarter
hand.
and better than the rest.
They're speaking so loudly about this among a group of people.
In front of a guy with literally a pen.
All right, let's write this down. All right. There
Good
we
God.
go.
So
What
in-
I know, Connor, it's called the clickening, is the clunkiest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
That is so clunky.
One thing I think is kind of cool here, we could probably thank Mr. Efron McAsh, Swordmaster, for this, is, well, here's a picture of Connor fighting. But if you recall, here is Connor in Highlander 1. Like, I love that
Ooh.
they give him, like, the same stance with his hand out, like a Jedi, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
pretty
digging
neat.
it.
Boom, boom, boom. All right.
Good.
Sure.
That's good visual cueing right there.
Yeah. Like,
So in one of the cuts, like this little man, like he doesn't speak English, so that's why
Right.
they talk in front of him.
oh, right. Because
Duncan's like, what the fuck? Like,
That's right.
why are we talking about this in front of this guy? But this is just like, what's Highlander? Here you go.
Right.
Like, here's all the rules.
Was anyone bothered by like this the dude with the quills like portrayal? Like I was having flashbacks to the Boston Common scene in Highlander 1 where there is like a kind of flamboyant like dude that's watching the fight. I was just like, what is this? Like
It's a little
why?
weird,
It is a little weird, right?
Yeah.
but you know, who knows?
Very good. All right, so Kyle, we now get your favorite thing fucking ever here. A signature special move.
So I will confess, I love me some signature special moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like Goku needs to learn the spirit bomb. All about it. Like, great, fine, wonderful. This secret move, I understand less than anything I have ever seen in my life. We see this move so many times. I do not understand it. So far as I can tell, it looks like you use the sword to make your opponent give you a hug, and then you take a step back and attack them.
Right.
That appears to be the move. I
Let's
don't
watch
know.
it,
I guess
and-
we should just see it.
Yeah, here we go.
Listen, soon you and I will have to part. There is one more thing
Have to
I want
part.
to give to you.
Cool.
Vavia. Vavia.
Vavia.
Aye. Oh, aye.
I like Mac takes his
I
hair out
kinda-
for this. I think that's like AP is number one for that. That's awesome.
I love that and how stoked he is to get the two-handed sword.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
But you've got your back to me.
It's not always about strength, Duncan. Attack me.
See, like, here's like he's trying to teach him a lesson. Like, it's not about strength, and it's like, is that going to be relevant? I don't know.
Oh,
It's about the manipulation of the mind. As well as the body.
Aye, but now I'm in control.
Are you?
Yes, it looks like it. Very much so. It's,
Remember well, my friend. Properly executed, this movie's unstoppable.
Okay.
What?
Okay. A couple things. One, I want to say, so I guess Efron came up with this move as something they thought could be plausibly done, like that this would be very, very hard to stop, right? So I think it's supposed to have some like realism to it. I do want to point out this. I won't be able to point out every circumstance this happens, but I'll call it out a few more times. There are like, I'm not joking, guys. There are missing frames of film in this movie. I'll say that again. There are missing frames of film in this movie. Watch when Connor talks to Duncan, and you will see his face like shift over. Here we go.
Remember well, my friend. Properly executed, this movie's unstoppable.
There it is. Anyone catch it?
Properly executed, this movie's unstoppable.
See it?
Properly executed, this movie's unstoppable.
oh yeah.
It's very small, but it's just like, where's that piece of film? It's sorry guys.
interesting.
That happens often. That's nuts.
Love the costumes, though. They look
Costumes
great.
are great. This location,
Costumes
cool.
are
They
great.
found this place was, I
Location's
guess, in
great.
Hungary or wherever. Like, it was a big hall. I guess that was maybe a municipal building or a government building.
Romania,
Oh, what did I say? Hungary?
Hungary.
Sorry, guys. I am very sorry.
Whoops.
Whoops. All right. So let's talk about manipulation of the mind. What do you think, Kyle?
So more Jedi stuff.
Yeah. So like this is like you're tricking your opponent into thinking they have the upper hand, and then you do this weird spin move, and it chops their head off.
Right.
I don't really understand. I don't understand the move, but whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand. It seems like it's two moves, right? There's the move
like locking behind the head.
Well, maybe it's even three moves. There's the move that Connor, there's the move that Connor initially does to get the drop on Duncan, which is Duncan thinks he can attack. Connor's able to turn the tables. I guess that's like step one. Then there's the weird like sword headlock, which I don't understand how you don't just accidentally cut your own head off with your own sword. That seems like the most plausible outcome of this location.
Just pull it
and
hard.
then I cannot for the life of me figure out how you get from this sword behind your head move to your sword at their neck. Like your sword is literally stuck behind your own head. Like I just don't understand how you get there.
I think
he
it's
like
that like
spins him around.
Yeah, I think the spin is like the crucial thing. It's like the way they're like released from the move makes them turn their back to you or something, so you can get like a strike in. I don't know. I mean, it's also a movie. I get that.
Also, this move is used more times in this movie. This is the cleanest and most sensical it looks of all the times it is done.
Yeah.
So I imagine we'll have more to say about it later.
I have a lot to say about this later. As much as I'm like defending it now, I'm like, I'm okay with this. It's fucking crazy later how it gets used. So, all right. Well, at least like there's more camaraderie in this scene. Like I want them just together, right? I want more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
yes.
Right.
This
well,
is
there
good.
we go.
I like this. This is a good part, even though it's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Well,
Although also
minus the exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, the exposition is really clunky. Like we don't know about any of this stuff earlier on, and it's I don't know. Again, who is this movie for? You know, this should have been a lot earlier. I think if they thought this was going to entice anybody new to watch this movie, and if it's for people that know about it, you don't need it at all. So
yeah,
I don't know. Although you know what I think is good though about this move, like he teaches them the move. Like it's much like any movie that has like a plan or something like. To show the plan first. That way they can do it in the movie and like the audience like knows what's up, right?
Yeah.
Like we understand now how the mechanics work, allegedly. All right. Cool. So now we cut back to the silver room in present day. We get this like reflection transition in the sword, which is not in the theatrical cut. They put that in later. So apparently, like, also all the transitions I think were like kind of cut out of the movie. Like, I believe the director Jug did film a number, like they knew how they wanted this all to get pieced together, and then in the re-edit they were like, well, none of these things make sense anymore. So we just kind of get, I feel like, late TV show series transitions, which are like, oh, it's just a reflection in the mirror, and it's like it's fine, but like it's nothing like they know they can do. So I don't know.
It's not like the first one.
Right. So this is the clip at the top of the episode where Kate walks in and, you know, she gives Mac a little speech. We finally get to know, like, who is this person, I suppose, right?
Yeah. He's like, who are you? A friend, a lover, or a wife? And he's like, oh, you're my wife. Duh.
Which, big question. Wasn't Mac cursed by some Roma woman to say that he would never be married?
Yep.
Yes.
That he would love many but never wed. Isn't that a major plot point in the episode The Darkness?
It is, Kyle. Very good. But here it is. He's married.
Cool. Funny how this never came up.
Yeah. Also, like, how insane is it that, like, Mac's like, well, who is that? Who is that? Like, it's his, he didn't recognize, like, he has seen people in the show or from wherever, like, he recognizes this person was his wife, and he's like, I don't know who this is. Like, that's nuts.
Well, she did get a haircut, so.
Well,
and she changed her name, man. It's all part of the makeover, right? Her name is Faith now. What do we think of the name change? Faith.
Bad.
Bad. Hang on. Bad.
Okay.
Bad.
Also, there's like hardly a whooshing. Oh, did you just say buzz?
And I said, well, I said it's because.
Oh, because I think it said buzz, because I was going to call that out. Like, there's not quite a buzz here either. It's wishy-washy, right?
Yeah. So there's all this religious iconography in the movie and all these religious buzzwords. Like, her name is Faith now.
Right.
Kell wears the crosses in his shoes. We're going to see his lair is in like a cathedral of some kind at some point. Like, he hangs out near crosses. He used to be a priest.
Right.
This stuff is littered throughout the entire movie.
It is.
Like, it seems like it should be central to this character, or to like what this thing is. And it's not. Like, it's actively distracting because I keep on trying to figure out why these things are there. And the answer is it's an empty puzzle box. Like, there's nothing. This guy's just a loon.
All right, so
and like happens to like the picture. I don't get it.
Okay, so I'll talk about more of this, I think, towards the end of the podcast. I will say I agree with your assessment, Kyle. Like, what the fuck is all this religious stuff? It is, in a weird way, my favorite stuff in the movie. Sadly, it's not actually deployed at all.
Are you sure it's your favorite stuff not in the movie?
Yeah, it's my favorite stuff not in the movie. It's stuff I wish, like, we'll talk about some of the initial like script ideas and stuff like that, and how all this evolved and why. Like, you are right. Like, why is this stuff there? You're correct in wondering that, and it was there for a reason, and somehow they dropped all of it, and I'm so bummed about it because it's like at least a little bit interesting. But we'll get to that later. Oh boy. So
remember our wedding day? Duncan's like, why are you here? And she just goes into this weird speech about how, like when we danced, we were flying.
Can I play this one clip that's from the rough cut, because it is my favorite line of dialogue. So this is cut from her speech that makes it into the movie. Holy shit.
Funny how time slips by, huh? You wake up one day and, oh my God, airplanes.
Oh my God, airplanes? No, that's not how that works.
Like, you're talking about the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
oh
that
God, the Zucker brothers.
Because I could see you just waking up and realizing there's a movie called Airplane now.
Wow, Leslie Nielsen.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
He's not in that, is he? Is Leslie Nielsen in Airplane? Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's the doctor, right?
Yeah. Don't call me Shirley.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking.
This is
horrible. She's
I'm
bad.
so glad this got cut, but like, what? Oh my God,
No,
airplanes.
Magnets, how do they work?
Like, also, like, I'm a person that will live a normal life, and I see things invented, and I don't go, oh my, like, I don't like this idea, like, I don't know, like, yeah.
Oh my God, Venmo.
Right.
And she doesn't even pick an old timey invention. Like, she's not even like, oh my God, the printing press.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess I get her point of like you live through like world changing things,
Yes.
right? But
Mhm.
like this is so, oh my God, airplanes, shut the fuck up. God damn it.
And then she fucking kicks Duncan in the face.
Yeah, right. She kicks him and he's like coughing blood and shit. Yikes.
it is weird seeing Duncan MacLeod like bleed like that, and he's about to say "oh shit," and I was like, "Huh, it's weird hearing that in Duncan MacLeod's mouth."
Yeah,
just
You know
after
what's
seeing
ahead.
him on the show, like where he's not doing all that cussing.
This is such a strange thing, and I don't know what happened in the editing room or with the production to make this happen. But like in the trailer, we get this kick is like a hot part of the trailer. I think she kicks him and then he flies out the window, or maybe I can't remember if that's the way it's edited in the trailer. But whatever, we see her kick Duncan in the trailer. In the movie, they crop the shot. It's like really tight, and you don't really see her leg. And I'm just like, why did they do a zoom crop on this shot? Like, I don't understand. They have the full wide shot in the trailer where you see
It looks way better.
it looks way better. I just can't. There's a lot of that in this movie, like where they seem to artificially be like zooming in on people's faces, and like I just don't understand why that happened. I'd have to think there was some reason, but weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So
all right,
we now get one of the major action pieces of the film, which I guess, why are the goons here? I guess they're here for this scene and only this scene, really, is why they exist.
Yeah. So
this is weird.
Tell us why it's weird, Eamon. What happened?
Well, first of all, the goons like drive their motorcycles into the building.
Right, on the second
I'm
floor.
I don't understand the physics of that.
What?
Yeah,
how they get their motorcycles in here, or why?
What are the logistics of this? Yeah, like
they drove them up the fire escape.
Yeah,
it's insane.
No sense. And it's just like all the bad guys rush in, and they all have like different weapons, and like
they have the most cartoonish array of weapons.
Yeah,
just insane. Like
one
nobody
guy has like Winston has like
the Jamaican
swords.
Guy has like swords on his hands. We meet Damon Dash, whose character's name is just Carlos. Damon Dash was one of Jay-Z's record producers,
right?
Who whole new ball game.
Yeah, who recently got dinged, or recently got arrested because he owed like $50,000 in child support. But some weird IMDb side notes on Damon Dash, if we have a second for it.
We have seconds.
We have a couple seconds for him. So he does not actually have a lot of credits, but he's done some producing. One thing that's strange that stands out, he was the executive producer on the Kevin Bacon movie, The Woodsman.
Oh, I heard that's really good and very dark.
Where Kevin Bacon returns to his hometown after being in jail for 12 years because he's a child molester.
Right, yeah.
And Damon Dash is the producer of that.
Wow. Most Def is in that. Another rapper. I wonder if there's some connection.
I'd have to assume so.
Yeah.
Especially because other things he is involved in producing are Chronicles of the Anunnaki. 450,000 years ago, advanced beings came to our solar system to strip mine its planets and moons for resources. During their mission, they labored, they loved, they thought, they fought, and they created a slave race.
Holy
Yikes.
shit.
It kind of has there's very little on this, but it looks like it's probably some kind of Stargate ripoff.
Wow.
Interesting.
And he also appears to be involved in what I can only assume is a remake of the 80s action movie Steel Justice. The only reason I mention it is because the 80s movie Steel Justice involves Highlander star Soon Tek Oh as a Vietnamese general.
Soon Tek Oh.
Very good. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So we get
Anyway.
a bunch of like bizarre one-liners in this whole thing. Like Mac makes fun of Cracker Bob's outfit because it's insane. And he's like, I look like a fucking orange or whatever. And it's like, whoa. But he says that to Kate. So we need to talk about this. Kate is a fashion designer because she was a seamstress in the past. Kate has designed
their
outfits for
That's
the gang.
what we're supposed to think here?
Yes, that's what this is. Like, that's why they all look like insane. Like, this is all the Faith fashion line of like immortal fight garb or whatever. I don't understand. And then Mac's like, nice bat.
No
it's like
sense.
he says it like it's like a line, like it's a pithy line. Oh, nice bat. Yikes.
And this is when he says, anybody want a club sandwich?
Yep.
Yes.
But like also
so Cracker Bob is using a bat with nails in it. Carlos is using like little claws, and he actually at least has a sword.
Yeah.
Mercifully, one guy has a sword. And then there's also like the guy with the scraggly hair who, have we seen him before, or is this his first appearance?
Might be his first appearance, and he is actually Adrian Paul's like trainer, I believe.
Yeah, his like martial arts instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool,
also
I guess.
at least has a sword, and he like throws a chain.
Yeah, he's got a chain. Why is it like this? Like,
he's off the chain.
That's okay. That makes sense.
And these guys all suck.
Yeah.
Like they are not doing well against Duncan. Like they get like the drop on him occasionally.
Yeah.
Uh
Also, Carlos says Duncan's like, wait, it's a team sport now? Because the rule is, no, it's 1-on-1, no 2-on-1. And then Carlos says, didn't you hear it's a whole new ball game? Shouldn't the guy with the baseball bat say that?
Exactly.
Yes, he should, because it's a ball game.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like,
he doesn't say club
on.
sandwich. He says this line.
Yeah.
Yikes. I also want to, this is from the rough cut. This is a deleted little quip from it's Damon Dash, right? You said, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is insane. Also because like you said, he's a record producer, not a martial artist or actor. So like he doesn't really use swords in this, but he reacts well.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But like a mirror comes at him. He's like, what the fuck was that all about? Like, what the fuck?
He's very bad.
He also has my favorite quippy one-liner in the whole thing, which at some point he slashes Mac with his kitty cat claws.
Yep.
And he says, I told you I was gonna cut you. No, you didn't.
No,
you didn't say that. That is not a callback to anything.
Yeah, that was like edited out.
Whatever that line is.
They kept to the callback,
right?
Without the first thing.
It's like I told you this. Nope.
Yeah.
So we're about to enter. This fight is about to change phases. It's about to go from a group fight for some reason to a one-on-one fight, which it normally feels like things go the opposite direction in like the way things are shot. But regardless, that's what we're about to do. How do we feel about the group aspect of this fight? Is there anything cool that we really like about it, or the opposite?
Yeah, I don't know about this. There's some cool parts. I feel like the producers cut, like they chopped this fight up and it just feels kind of small and weird. And then the rough cut, it just seems to breathe a little more and seems a little better to me.
Yeah.
But the rough cut, I believe, is closer actually to the theatrical cut in this instance. I feel like the theatrical version of this is better, though my notes are not detailed enough to capture all of it. But like, I don't know, there's some moments that are fun, like when what's his name, Winston comes at him with the two blades and is like swinging at him repeatedly, and Mac has to like fight them all off. Like at least that looks cool. Visually interesting. And looks at least it like gives a reason. It's like, oh, you did something different with these little two swords than you could have done if you had just given him a more sensible weapon.
Right.
I guess. But all of this comes crashing to an end with the arrival of Donnie Yen.
That's right.
Jin K.
Which we get some awkward exposition here when Winston goes, let's let my man Jin K deal with it. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You seem to be winning.
Right.
Like, why did you just decide to stop fighting? Also, Kate is not participating in this fight anymore. Like she kicked
Nope.
him once, and I guess she's mad at him, but not mad enough to actually fight him.
Right.
Shrug.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Good.
he's like, "Oh, Jin K, you served the Emperor Qin, the same man." Okay.
Yeah, like Mac knows all about this dude, and
Yeah.
I can't remember in both cuts. Is it like do they say that line? Let's let our man. Up, Eamon, you're gone. Up, Eamon's back.
Whoopsie.
Uh-oh.
Touched the mouse.
Uh-oh. Is that line in all the cuts? Like, let's let our men Jin K handle this. Or like in my notes, I wrote down that like Mac just recognizes Jin K. And it's like, oh, is it Jin K? Because in the scene prior, he didn't know who his own wife was. Like, and I'm just like, this is crazy. Like,
and he knows this man just by sight and reputation.
Right. And he's wearing like a snakeskin jacket. And I'm just like, how did you recognize
in a see-through mesh shirt?
Wow. That Kate dressed him in. She picked those colors for him. Oh, the whole thing. It's nuts.
And he's like, I thought you were, or some people say you were a man of honor. And Jin K's like, what do you know about honor? And I'm like, what?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they fight.
Also, like, I feel like a man of honor doesn't roll with these people.
Right.
These are not good people.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, who looked at Cracker Bob and was like, whatever he's part of, I want in.
Yeah.
This is an honorable man. This orange.
Yeah, no one honorable has that facial hair. No one.
To my point earlier that like it should be Kell and Connor and then Duncan and Jin K. Like it's I don't know if Jin K really has that much honor in this movie. It seems like they want that to be a thing, but it's like that's more evidence that those two should be fighting because like Duncan has a code, Jin K has a code. Like let's get that going. That's what the series is about. Like I don't know.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. So Jin K fights with a spear, which again, like,
okay, all right.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. I'm on board.
At least it can chop someone's head off, I guess. Like, unlike a bat.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this fight is fun. Like, they're both obviously very good at this.
Right.
Yeah. He does Donnie Yen does some cool moves. Duncan does some cool moves.
There's this weird video effect they do where Jin K does like a backflip and they like stagger. They do the thing where like you see the transition between the frames.
Right.
I hate that. But
yeah, that's not in the theatrical version either. I don't know. Like they added that to be like, let's make it like pop more. I just want to play a very, very quick clip here because like I'm going to call out a bunch of technical stuff that happens in this movie. Like check out the goddamn lighting in this scene. Like it's constantly changing. So this is only 5 seconds long, but you can see how like weirdly this is called like color timing in film, like where they have to adjust the hues and all this sort of stuff to make all the shots match. This doesn't like. It's like kind of orange and yellow, and now it's like blue, isn't it? Look at it. Blue, orange, blue, orange. Like it's like these are two different things. Like it's just there is so many like problems on just like a technical level in this movie. It's very upsetting, stupid fucking thing. Anyway, there we go.
So at some point, this movie does something that. But this is about to do something that people do in things all the time, and I never understand. Mac manages to disarm Jin K, and I feel like we've had this conversation before. But Jin K's like, "Well, honor is not in the weapon; it's in the man."
Does Mac disarm him? I thought Jin K like puts it down.
No,
okay.
Mac like they have like a tussle, and Mac manages to knock the spear away. So then Mac like slams his own sword in the ground, which must be very bad.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And then they continue to fight. That is so different than like it's one thing of like, oh, don't fight an unarmed man with a weapon. I don't feel like that logic applies when you disarmed that man.
Right.
Like if you cut that man's arm off, which I imagine was your intent, you wouldn't be like, oh, all right, let's wait. It's like you did it. That was your goal. It's because you wanted to win the fight. And by the way, you just won the fight. You did what you came there to do. You're not being dishonorable because you won. I don't know.
Right.
It's all very silly to me.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just a dishonorable man. I don't know.
Right. And this is, again, just an excuse.
So-
Like, this is riding the coattails of the Matrix. Like, we need to have more kung fu. Like, that's why this fight exists. Like, why are they fighting without weapons? That doesn't make any sense. Like, and there's no good, like, story reason. Like, other than, like, they say this, like, honor lies in the man. And I'm like, cool. Is that a theme? No. Like, that's not part of what drives this story. It's just so they can have them slap each other. So,
Yeah.
Yep. So they have a kung fu fight.
which is,
This is
again,
kinda
like, they
cool,
both do a
I
great
guess.
job.
Yeah.
Kyle, to you asked earlier about, like, how do we feel about this, like, group fight, all this stuff, like all these fancy martial arts? Like, I just don't care. Like, because I guess I wonder, why are they fighting? Like, what is the point of the fight? Like, there's nothing extra to this other than, like, the razzmatazz of fight choreography. Like, which, sure, I can enjoy on some level, but, like, it's not like when Connor fights the Kurgan, it is a battle for the soul of of the earth. What is this fucking fight about? Like, why should I care that these dudes just show up to fight Duncan? Like, there's no history. Like, this needs to be about something. Like, at least Kell has, like, there's something about his, like, revenge with Connor. But, like, I don't care about any of these guys. Anyway, it's all hollow.
Nope. It's not good.
So who comes down the stairs?
Jacob Kell.
Kell.
How can we tell it's him? Oh, his little shoes.
You get his shoes again. As though we needed more hints on it, but he yells "stop!"
Right. And then Duncan and Jin K give each other like a nod for some reason, like
because they're being honorable.
They're being honorable, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. And then there's some quip about, like, disciplined boys, like the first 100 years or whatever are the hardest. And I believe this is a concept that was cut early on.
What is this line?
All right, I think what they're doing. Do you remember the episode Little Tin God, where what's his name? Gorka?
Lorca,
not Gorka.
Gorka, Sebastian Gorka.
He takes all those, like, young immortals and he, like, teaches them, like, the wrong rules of the game, right? Like, they do, like to me, this feels a bit like that. Like, so I guess the idea is that Kell has recruited younger immortals that don't really know the rules, and he can mold them into whatever. But that doesn't explain Jin K's role in all this.
Yeah, we know that's false. We only have we have 2 examples of this, and we know they are both false. Because we know Kate is older than that, and we know Jin K is older than that. So this makes no sense.
And also, it doesn't make any sense because it's not set up. Like, there's just nothing to dig into here. I understand what that means.
It's the most baffling line.
Oh, I'd also like to point out that not only did those motorcycles bust through the fucking second floor windows, that Jacob Kell comes now from the third floor. And I'm like, how is anybody get anywhere? Like, was he waiting up there? Did he climb up a fire escape? Like, what is going on? It's just very dramatic. It's so blocky.
So at which point Damon Dash now pulls out a gun, which he's apparently had the whole time. Which I don't understand this. They're willing to fight this guy as a group, but he had a gun the whole time and he wasn't willing to use it. It makes zero sense. At which point Matt gets blown out of a window and gets impaled on rebar.
Yep.
Like there's some construction project outside that literally impales him.
Right.
Insane.
So I mean, this is the movie's way to, like, they need to get Mac out of the fight. Like, he needs to escape, obviously, because if he doesn't, he'll lose his head and the movie's over. So, like, I get the movies need to have these devices. Like, how do we get the characters to meet and fight, and then, like, move past that? But it's just so random with the gun. Also, that's because, like, once again, he's not a martial artist. So they were like, what can I do? Shoot him. Just shoot him. So what's Kell do?
Well, David Dash first goes, I guess I'm not much of a sword guy. Just so
cool.
dumb.
And Kell's just like, hey, I thought I told you to stop. And he's like, well, I stopped. And I'm like, what does that mean? Is that a joke?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the lines in this script don't make any sense. Like, you could take almost any line in the script and go, why did that person say that? And you would almost always go, I don't know. I don't know. Because somebody wrote it down is usually the answer. That's it.
Well, this entire exchange is baffling. So I guess we're now supposed to think, I guess, that, like, Kell keeps these people his gang is perhaps involuntary.
Yes.
They may be there against their will, and, like, Kell is like, well, like, you're gonna need to beat me
to like, be freed, to gain your freedom. Right.
My first question is, why don't you just shoot him instead?
Right.
Yeah.
Also, if all of these people, like, if apparently we're not honoring the only one person fights rule, if they're like his fucking slaves, why don't they just turn on him right now? Damon Dash can shoot him. Also, like, Jin K is obviously a badass in his own right. Like, are we supposed to think that these 5 people can't beat this stooge? And they're willing to use guns and cheat? And, like, we know that if you're getting a quickening, like, if he kills one of them, like, he's going to be down and out and you can kill him. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get
also,
it at all.
to your point, that's never like explored. Like that actually might be okay fodder for the story. Like oftentimes when you have a group of criminals, there's infighting, right? Like that's the movie trope, right? Like nobody trusts each other and who's really in control and blah blah blah. Like that doesn't come to fruition later in this movie. Like we never see people turn against each other or like, you know what I mean? Like it's just stupid. All right, so what happens outside? A black van, like a morgue van or whatever it is, or the coroner.
I think
van?
it says
It says coroner
on it.
Yeah, I think it says coroner on the back door, and these
Okay.
dudes bust out. So Duncan is like impaled on this rebar, and I at least like this editing. Like I like that it's like them cutting the steel is mirrored with like Damon's head getting chopped off. It's like okay, that's fine. But who are these people?
Yeah, so somehow Jacob Kell like gets behind Damon Dash and is gonna cut his head off with his own sword.
Right.
I don't really understand the mechanics of how this happened.
It's a special secret move, Kyle.
Yeah. Which he names. Keith, what does he name this move?
He names it? Oh, he calls it a decap with a twist?
No sugar.
What? And cuts off Damon Dash's head, which then lies on the ground and is like, "Oh no!" Like it like blinks.
All right, we gotta play it because this is the best. And this might be from the. Is this from the rough cut or is this? No, I guess it's the actual movie. I'm like, oh, also because we're on a freeze frame of the movie, I want to talk about something else. What is up with the Chinese on
graffiti?
The walls? The graffiti. It's everywhere in Duncan's apartment or in Connor's loft. This is not a real space. Like this isn't like they found a place in New York that was empty and they were like, well, everything's just on the wall. We'll shoot it as it is. Like they constructed this place from scratch. And so someone in the art department said, we need to put stuff on the wall. What should we put? Chinese graffiti. I'd love to know what it says. And I'd like, what is going on? Like, why is it Chinese? What's like, is there
Do we know it's Chinese?
I don't know it's Chinese. I apologize. It could be a different language that I am not I'm no expert in this.
But it's just whatever it is. Yeah.
Like I guess I just
Did
like
Jin K do it?
Yeah, I would love to know like what again they were thinking of this, like what is this world they all live in? Like I don't know. It's a strange little detail. But let's watch him lose his head because this is nutso. What? What? Oh, and the sex store.
Corner.
Great.
This place explodes again.
Yeah, you think that the authorities would be upset about this.
And yeah, let's take a peek right there. What is up with this? So we get like a weird portal into his tummy where the quickening goes. And also, it's kind of weird. Like Kell just stands there, right? Like, I guess is the idea was there any sort of motivation? I'm curious. Like, he's so powerful, right? Like that this quickening's like, you know, a potato chip to him. I'll just have one. That's fine.
No, my theory is that they didn't shoot that to be a quickening. That was just a regular shot, and they added in the video effects. That was my theory on it.
Oh, that's good.
Later in the movie, when he has quickenings, he does appear to react in some way. So
interesting.
That was my theory. So
wow.
And everyone just watches this happen. No one's like, oh no, he killed Carlos. Like we should be concerned about this. When they're also apparently they're like his unwilling servants.
Wow.
What is up, guys? What is up with this movie?
Yeah, and does that mean that Cracker Bob is not actually a bad guy if he's like under this guy's thumb?
Right? Interesting.
He's just a regular run-of-the-mill weirdo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good job. We got through 2 scenes today, I think.
How about
doing
that?
Great.
What a thing we did.
This movie has a lot to sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
It's a lot of grizzle.
Wow.
It's made of grizzle.
Well, before we wrap up, I think it's time to play a game. So that brings us to the end of the 2 scenes we're talking about today, which is pretty amazing. We are getting our way through this movie. It's gonna be fantastic.
We're on a journey.
We are on a journey, but we have to interrupt that journey with a game.
A game.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a new game. I'm calling it the Endgame.
Oh.
Even
I
though
wonder
this
why.
isn't the last episode. Yeah, I'm confused. Keith and Kyle, you have to buzz in to make your guess, but you're going to guess whether this quote is from the movie Highlander Endgame or the movie Avengers Endgame.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I'll read you the quote. You buzz in with your name and guess which one it's from, and you'll get a point. And whoever wins, I guess.
Great.
Nice.
Are you guys ready for the first quote?
I am.
Let's do it.
Some people move on, but not us.
Kyle.
Not us. Kyle.
That is Avengers Endgame.
That's correct. Kyle gets 1 point.
Very good.
Quote the second. Look on the bright side. At least you went down swinging.
Keith.
Keith.
That would be Avengers Endgame.
Incorrect.
What?
That
What?
is Jacob Kell.
That Jacob
When did
Kell
he
says
say
that.
that?
I don't think he said it yet in the film, but he
That's
does
true.
say it.
What? I don't even remember that. I've seen this movie so many times.
Highlander Endgame. You have to watch it a few more times.
I guess so.
Apparently.
Hasn't sunk
Kyle.
in yet.
Is in the lead.
It's true.
Quote the third. Men, for the most part, can mend their ways only after they have made a mistake.
Keith.
Kyle.
Oh, suck it. Highlander Endgame.
That's
Jin
correct.
K, baby. Jin K.
It's tied up.
Baffling line, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very baffling. The next clue. Life brings hope and pain, but revenge never brings redemption.
Keith.
Kyle.
Highlander Endgame.
Yes, that's correct. 2 points.
All right.
Hooray.
Hey, man, make love, not war.
Kyle.
Yes, Kyle.
Avengers Endgame.
That's correct. That's said by 70s Car Man.
Ooh, I love 70s Car Man.
Very
Yeah,
good.
like who is that character?
He has all the powers of a 70s car.
That's true. The next quote. Who puts mayo on a hot dog?
Kyle.
Yes, Kyle.
Say
Wait,
it.
mayo on a hot dog.
Yep.
I guess I was going to say
Say it.
Highlander Endgame, but I thought it was supposed to be ketchup on a hot dog. But
Nope.
whatever. It's Avengers Endgame.
That is correct.
What?
It is said from Lilla Barton, who is Hawkeye's daughter.
That's right. I
As
do
one
remember that
does.
scene. And Linda, what's her name? Is his wife. Is she in other movies, by the way? And like Avengers movies? Or is she just in that movie in this one? Never
They're
mind.
both.
They have a picnic outside at the start of it.
I think she's just in that movie.
How about
I
that?
think you're right.
All right.
Oh, but no, she might be in no, I think she's in Age of Ultron.
Wow.
The wife.
I've never seen that movie. Isn't that something?
It's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not good.
It has James Spader in it. How about
Oh, I
that?
love
Sure.
that Spader. Crash.
You can't really recognize his voice.
No.
Oh, that's a good to have a voice actor. You don't know their whatever. Anyway,
No, I don't think I will.
oh my god.
No, I don't think I will.
Keith, Highlander
Keith.
Endgame.
Incorrect.
No, god damn it.
Yeah, hey,
That
you had a
is-
50-50 shot, baby.
That is from Avengers Endgame. Steve Rogers.
Oh. All right.
Last clue. Kyle wins.
Yeah, buddy.
But this is the final one. What you seek lies in front of you, as does what you fear.
Kyle.
Yes, Kyle.
Avengers Endgame.
That's correct. For 5 points, that's the Red Skull.
It's very true.
Famous Nazi, the Red Skull.
Famous Nazi.
Notorious Nazi Red Skull.
Wow.
The notorious Nazi.
Very
Congratulations,
good.
Kyle, for knowing your endgame quotes.
Congratulations.
It's
All
weird
right.
that there are 2 hot dog quotes in 2 different movies
That
Right.
shouldn't
Called-
have hot dog.
called Endgame. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. They both also start like that hot dog scene opens Avengers Endgame. Like
Does
that's
it really?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So 2 hot dog movies called Endgame.
Called Endgame.
Love
Great. I
it.
love it. Eamon, you won the catalog game earlier. So why don't you give us a quick rundown of how you're feeling about this movie? How do you think it might resolve at this point? Any of that stuff. I don't know. Kick us off.
I'm like, Duncan's kidnapped. I don't know by who. I'm confused about that. I'm like, why isn't Mythos here? I'm thinking maybe Mythos is going to get on the action. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm thinking these henchmen all suck, and I don't like them except for maybe Donnie Yen.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
that's an interesting thing to bring up. Like that Mythos could be like a ringer in this, right? Like, oh no, like we got to bring out the big guns, the 5,000-year-old dude that like he's like the secret weapon. I don't know.
A new challenger approaches.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think at this point, I am assuming that the big showdown, because it's been tied up here, as Keith has mentioned, is between Donnie Yen and Duncan. That like Donnie Yen is Duncan's guy.
Right.
In this whole equation.
Right.
And like I am looking forward to the next time they finish their fight.
Exactly. That's part of it. Is like they didn't finish the fight. Like that's what's like satisfying. Like we got to see a taste of it, and they even like bow at each other. It's like this isn't done yet, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. This isn't Donnie yet.
Yeah. I think my I think my biggest expectation in this moment is that fight will continue.
Cool. Guess what? It
doesn't.
It doesn't. No, but this sets you up to like Connor will come and get Kell, and Duncan will be Connor will rescue Duncan, and then like Duncan will fight Jin K.
Yeah, that would be like an interesting twist. Like we expect Duncan has seemingly been captured, so it's like, well, who's gonna rescue Duncan? Is a thing we're probably all thinking, right? How's Duncan gonna get out of this pickle? And why doesn't Kate fight anybody? And I don't know. What's up? What's up with this?
Well, you'll have to wait until next time to find out when we continue our coverage.
Excellent. I'm like, whatever.
Of Highlander.
We've been doing this for 5+ hours now. This is a long day. Anyway,
Highlander Edge game.
All right. I should not be laughing. All right.
We're sober too.
We are. This is crazy. Like most of our podcasting now has been, for me at least, has been done sober these past during quarantine because we're doing it early in the day. So
I don't know why I said agreed.
Agreed.
Yes, me too. Agreed.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, if you want to write us in, send us an email at highlander@gmail.com. Did I just mumble? Highlander Rewatch. You know what this show's called. You can just put it at Gmail at the end of it and .com and all that stuff. But send us what you think of what we've been talking about so far. And we'll be back next week with another exciting episode. Who knows how many of these there's going to be? It's a lot. Wow.
Who knows?
Anyway, we've been your Rewatchers. I'm Keith.
This is Kyle.
This is Eamon.
Bye.
Bye.